Happy Halloween, everybody. Welcome to the Prosperity and Health Alliance. It's yours truly, Way T Hard, on a dark, dark Halloween spooky night. Whoa. Anyways, I'm here with a couple of legends in the business. See Hot Top Crew, I want to give a big Halloween trick-or-treat. How you doing, guys?
Doing
Happy
awesome.
Halloween, everybody.
Trick or
Last day of the month.
Sorry, Creel, go for it, bro.
I just wishing everyone a happy Halloween. Hope you guys are all doing well, having fun, giving candies out, whatever that looks like for you. Glad to be on board.
Awesome. I wanted to say it's all been treats and no tricks here, and tonight's going to be a huge treat for all of us as well. It's good to see you guys, good to be back on the air with you guys. Been traveling around doing that all-out massive action and seeing everybody around the country. This last week here, man, I slept 9 hours to catch up, but you know what? It's all worth it to recharge my battery. So I'm ready for tonight. So hello, everybody, and happy Halloween. Hello?
Wade, did you get frozen? We might have gotten locked out. So Wade is coming in from somewhere else this evening, and he had mentioned that his Wi-Fi signal might be a little bit on the rough side. So we'll wait for him to re-engage. But as usual, we wanted to go through the automated training system that we have launched, and we're going to cover PHA 13 and PHA 14 tonight in the titles of those two emails. Let me just pull it up on my side so I'm up to date here. Is going to be here's how the system works, the ABCs, the 1, 2, 3s, the skills, and the actions. That was PHA 13. And PHA 14, I've got a great story for you. So we're going to...
I think I'm back. So, hey, guys.
I hear you.
It looks like the internet's playing a little trick-or-treat with me tonight. So let's jump into this. Kimmy, can you see my screen?
There you are. Hi, Wade.
Let me switch it back to you, Wade. I went ahead and gave it to somebody else, but yes, we'll do that. So I can see your screen. So go ahead and I'll resize you.
All right. So great to have you guys back and be back for the trick-or-treat episode, as we're in spooky Sedona and it's pulling some tricks on us. So that's okay. Bottom line is, we've thrown a lot of stuff at everybody. The reality is the PH Alliance is the most comprehensive training. You've been hammered with a lot of emails, and the idea of this is that you learn as much as you can. You find out your weak points, you find out your strong points, you partner up with people that enhance your strengths and minimize your weaknesses, and then you just keep increasing your skill on every level of the business. Ultimately, when you get to the top, you need to have all of the skills if you want to become a network marketing professional. That's going to take you a decade. It's going to take you 9, 10 years to become a world class. We're talking about a skill set that will allow you to write your ticket for the rest of your life, and it's worth it. And by the way, unlike an education at university, you're going to get paid along the way. And you can make a lot of money not being that good. And I'm a testament to it. Okay, so I want to share with you tonight a few quick things. And then here's what I know there's not as many people as we normally have tonight, but that's great because I want to get to the people that are here tonight. I want to respect you for reaching out, being here on Halloween, all that stuff. That's an amazing thing. But more importantly, I want you to give some questions back. What are the things that's holding you back, the thing that you don't want to talk about, the thing you don't want to ask? So we're going to open up the lines to you real quick. So number one, the ability to invite people to view a video online or in person. This is out of email 13 in the PH Alliance. This is a skill that you need. You need to be able to invite people. If you can do nothing else when you start this business, if you can invite, you've got a business. You invite them to a demo, you invite them to an online thing, you invite them to some sort of thing that, you know, does a demonstration and shows the power of this product. 2, there's another skill that you're going to develop, the ability to ask for a sale, or as Siha would say, to open a business with a new prospect. And there's a way to do it, and there's a way not to do it. But a lot of people just never ask because they're too afraid of the no. I was listening to a lady who's a legend in this industry a couple of days ago. I was attending a conference, and she said, look, what other people think about you is not your business. Yeah, so forget about what people think about you. There's a lot of wisdom in that. And 3, is the ability to plug your new distributor into the PA Alliance website to get coaching. Here's the thing, you've got to leverage us. You've got to leverage the leader. When I got started, I leveraged my leaders. I didn't know what I was doing. I didn't know how to do anything. I didn't know anything about this business. There's still things I don't know. But the thing is I know somebody who's an expert on every single component of the business. You just got to get people plugged into it. And remember, you don't have to be the expert. You can say, hey, look, let me introduce you to a group of socially conscious entrepreneurs that are working this amazing project worldwide in water, the most important commodity in the world. We've got an unparalleled health technology. We've got an unparalleled business technology. The connection, the vibe is amazing. And we've got a training system that Homer Simpson can do. Boom. Let me introduce you to some of the leaders of the project. The more confident that you can recognize that you're with a world-class company with points of sales and distribution all around the planet, the better off you are. So this comes down to, we're going to go to questions right away after this. And this was email 14, which is presenting your product or opportunity. What are the steps to success? Number one, your first level is you got to be able to develop a short, effective testimonial either for the product or the business. So if you've had an experience and say, hey, you know what? My friend introduced me to this water. I wasn't so sure about it, but you know, I was drinking this water and all of a sudden X, Y, Z happened. This happened, or this happened to my wife, or this happened to my kid, or this happened to me. And I was really impressed, so I bought a machine. And then I told a few friends about it, and the next thing you know, I had a business. Or maybe you said, you know, I've been struggling moving up a corporate ladder, or I got laid off, or something happened in my life that didn't work out. And you know what? I was looking for something else. I was looking for a business opportunity. I was looking for an opportunity that would put financial security. I wasn't so secure with the government or with my company program or my 401k or my mutual fund or whatever it happens to be. You have an option, and you said you were looking for it. Number two, you got to master the company presentation. Look, this phase. When you start doing the presentations, there's two things that happen. Number one, this is when you control your destiny. If you really want to, everybody who is at the top of this game learns to do the presentation. And you know what? When you first start doing them, you're going to do them bad, and that's good. Anything worth doing well is worth doing poorly. No athlete, no superstar, nobody was born a great speaker. Nobody was born a great presenter. Nobody was born as a great leader. You learn these things through practice, practice, practice. And you know what? If you go up there and you tell people, you know what, I'm as nervous as can be and I'm not sure I can do this presentation, they're going to love you for it. Own your emotions, own your fear, because you know what? They fear the same thing themselves, and they're going to go, they're just like me. And phase three, you need to become a great storyteller. There's an old saying in sales that facts tell, but stories sell. And I was speaking with a guy a couple of days ago, Clifton Jolie, who is the master of a story. And this guy's a PhD in English, and he's a storyteller, and one of the greatest storytellers I've ever heard. Or you can listen to the Cal Fussman 2 audios and Tim Ferriss podcast. You want to learn about the art of storytelling and how important that is. If you look at sports, it's stories. If you look at soap operas, it's stories. If you look at reality TV, if you look at the WWF, if you look at the presidential candidates, it's about the story. It's not even about the facts. No one even knows the facts and all these things, but it's the story that gets people engaged. And so you want to learn a story. You know, you can talk about Mr. Oshiro's story. You can talk about the story of how this water is transforming people. You can talk about the Dr. Filtzer story. You can talk about your own story. There's a million different stories, but the story has got to be enticing enough that your customer can insert themselves into it and say, hey, you know what, that's just like me. Maybe it's a financial story. I was struggling and I wanted something different. Or maybe it's a health story. I was struggling and I found this water. Or maybe it was a story about something you heard or something you did, or maybe you wanted to be part of a community. That is part of the story. So these are the three things that you got to get down to. And you know what, it takes time and it takes development, but as you get out there and you start telling your story, you're going to find out the things that work and the things that don't, and you're going to get better and better and tighter on it. And you just want to keep practicing. Realize, you know, it takes, you know, it's going to take you a few years to really master this. This is not a get-rich-quick program. It's get rich, but not rich quick, and it's worth learning the question. So guys, if you want to add to that, that would be great. I would love your feedback from your perspective. I know you guys are rocking and rolling. And if you can, we're going to open up to specific questions. And I know a lot of people are shy about questions, but tonight is not the night to be shy. Tonight is, I want you to identify the one thing that you're most nervous about or the one thing that you feel that's holding you back, and then let us help you overcome that. So guys, you want to add to this?
Sure. I got a few things to add in here. So from the idea of the ABCs, the 1, 2, 3s, the PH Alliance training system, for us it's about identifying and talking to people first and foremost. And to create interest and intrigue with the person I'm talking to, I want to be asking questions, and then I want to be telling stories, as Wade's alluded to. And I'm going to give you just a live example of what I did on the weekend. I went to this function that my meditation group puts on, talking to new people, and I started asking some questions to a person that I know, not really well, but I know, so we're chatting along, and he starts to tell me how he loves Mexico, and then I've got my place in Mexico. We started bonding on that. And he tells me how he'd like to spend a lot more time. And I'm like, well, what do you mean by that? He goes, oh, well, my job doesn't allow me to spend time there. And I'm like, oh, tell me about your job. I start asking questions, and I really start to feel that this person's looking for more freedom in their life. And at a certain point, I said, hey, you know what? Let me tell you what happened to me. And I tell my story of how I got introduced to network marketing and how I went from working, trading my hours in my life for dollars and doing yoga teaching, construction stuff, tree planting, and how I was able to learn a new skill set that allowed me to have the freedom that I'm looking for. And I tell them about, hey, I just went to this trip to Egypt with my girlfriend. We're going to go down to Mexico. We're going to do all this stuff. And I'm like, hey, I don't know if it's for you, but would you be interested in looking at the business model? Because it sounds like you're looking for freedom, and I know this can offer you that. And at that point, he was just like, oh, wow. And I could tell him he could go either way. And I said, hey, it sounds like you're looking for something not traditional to give you the lifestyle that you're really looking for. And this isn't a traditional thing, but the traditional thing doesn't give you the freedom you're looking for. So isn't it worth just exploring new things? And he agreed with that. And then I invited him. I said, wait, if I send you a video, would you watch it? It's 50 minutes long. It's Eric Worre, Rise of the Entrepreneur. He says yes. I say, great, when can you watch it? We've got to book time. So do you see how asking questions, telling my story, creates interest, creates connection, and then I can invite them to take the next step. So that's just a live, for me, going through these steps, what Wade did the overview, it really has a natural flow when you understand what that rhythm is. Meeting people, talking to people, texting people. You're going to ask questions, you're going to tell your story to create interest. People that you have are interested, we're going to invite them to take a look at things, enter into the educational. And so once you understand that, you're kind of like, okay, I'm just going to keep working this system, this rhythm with new people. So I just wanted to throw that in. I'm sure Siha's got some great information to add in, so come on back and let's share.
Great job, Krill, and that was a beautiful illustration. And if you note, folks, one of the big things before he told the story, he's asked questions so that the story created relatability. If you're not asking questions to find out what's the hot points or where's the pain in their life that you can help solve, you're just fire hosing them with facts or information or your story, and people love to talk, and really great illustration of how to do that. Siha, you want to add, because I know you're a master at storytelling. Tell us a story, brother.
Siha, you're on mute.
Well, thanks, guys. The master at storytelling, really, it has to come from your heart, and it has to come from you. And we're all humans, and we're all afraid to do things. And I'm out there, sharing my heartaches. I'm out there sharing my fears, and I'm trying to help people. I truly want to help serve them better, give them value, help them in any way, shape, or form that I can. So, one of the things I like to share is I'm human just like you guys, and I get scared just like you guys. I have fears just like you guys. You know, when I first started this business, I was so scared of public speaking. Really, a lot of people says, how could you be scared of public speaking? You're a natural. No, I'm not a natural. It took me time and a lot of practice and a lot of mistakes and a lot of, you know, sleepless nights before I, you know, feel comfortable. Now I'm very comfortable on stage because I know, you know, I've had a lot of practices. The first time that I was asked to speak on stage was like 5 months into the game, and I was climbing up pretty high in the, you know, pretty fast in the ranks with Enagic, and my mentor at the time had shared with me because I was that's 2008, and I was going through some financial issues and some health issues, and I didn't know where my life was going to go. How many people do you know that are in that kind of situation? If maybe it's you. Well, I was in that kind of, that was my situation. I didn't know where I was going to go, and I didn't know what to do. But, you know, my mentor came to me and said, "See how you're doing so well in this business." And I was at a Super Saturday event with about 300 people in Seattle, and she says, "What if there's somebody in the crowd that needs, you know, your advice, that needs your help, that needs to know, you know, what you found out?" And again, I was so scared, and I didn't want to do it. But when she said that to me, I was like, you know what? If there's a scared Seahawk out there in the audience, I want to help them, because you know what? I needed that help, but I had to go find it myself. And if I could do it right now and right then on stage, I was going to do it. So I did. I got on stage, and my legs were shaking and everything else. And afterwards, you know, people saw that I was nervous, but they saw that I was, you know, sincerely wanting to help them as well. And I got a lot of hugs and a lot of encouragement, and that led me to speaking more on stage. And then in Las Vegas a few years later, I had to speak in front of 900 people, and that scared the bejeebies out of me. I didn't want to say yes to, you know, the organizers that were putting it together during the Super Saturday. I have to be honest, I was so scared. I went to my hotel room to write out my speech over and over, and just I was trying to prepare, because I like preparing, but I was still scared, no matter how prepared I was, no matter how well I knew my stuff. But I knew there's one person that I could go to, and we all should have a go-to mentor, a go-to friend, and that was our good friend Wade Lightheart. I went to Wade because I knew that, you know, if he can be on a stage with his Speedos, then he could help me out here. And so I went to Wade. I go, "But hey, buddy, I need your help. I'm going to be getting on stage, and I'm scared crapless, and I need your help." So he took me aside. He gave me his tips, you know, to talk to the higher source, to talk to your God, to talk to the universe, you know, pray for the energy to flow through you, you know, to come through your heart and through your mind and then out through your mouth. And, you know, I did it. I was so scared. But that's public speaking. That's one of the biggest fears that I have, and I know a lot of people have. And so I did that, and then another, you know, through time, I had to face many more fears, and I talked to our teams about it, that, you know, we all have to face our fears, and we see in all those, you know, all the Instagram and all the Facebook posting, you know, the other side of fear is success and all this, but when you're scared, you're scared. You don't want to go to the other side. You're so scared. Well, my second fear, second highest in my life, is heights. Heights. Yes, I'm afraid of heights. A lot of people don't know this, but you know, when I would go to my children's, like, you know, fairs and stuff like that, they have the rock climbing wall. It's only like, I don't know, 12 feet tall or something like that, and you have to climb it. My legs are shaking, and I'm hard to stand, and somebody's holding on the other end, but I didn't want to show it, but I knew I wanted to conquer it. So I was so scared of heights. As of late, you guys know that I'm taking my pilot's license, and I'm learning how to fly. The first 2 times that I take off on a plane, I'm no problem. You know, I'm facing my fears. I've got my instructor next to me. I'm feeling confident. I'm going up. I'm doing what I need to do. You know, the instructor says, you know, I'm doing some stalls in the air. There again, it was where the engine kind of almost shuts off, and you have to or it does shut off, and you have to bring it back. I was so scared, but you know what? I wanted to do it over and over again, so I did more stalls than I was supposed to on my second flight. So I thought, okay, I've conquered this fear of heights. You know, I could do that. And the third time I go up in the air, I don't know what it was. I don't know what it was, but again, the fear came back. I just like, wow, I'm literally floating in the air as I'm taking off. My right leg, which is on the rudder, is just vibrating viciously, just left and right, just fast. and my instructor, we were going to do what's called touch and goes. I was so scared of doing it, I wasn't ready for it. I had to tell him the truth. I had to say, you know what, can we go warm up a little bit and let me just get used to the plane again before we do the touch and goes? But he'd already called it in, so I asked him to land for me. He landed for me, and then we went and I got warmed up and I was able to do the, the touch and goes and the landing. And that scares the bejeebies out of me. So here I am trying to, teach my kids and trying to inspire everybody else, to face your fears. Well, I have to face my fears, and that's, that's what I'm doing daily, is facing my fears. I enjoy it, even more so now, facing my fears, because I know that on the other side of fear, it really is the success. So I've been doing that. I always ask the team, what's holding you back? Because for me it was those fears, but those fears sometimes drive you. It sure drove me. And like Wade was sharing earlier, he said, with this project, you earn as you learn. And like getting a college degree, and you go through the college and you get your degree. I truly believe, when you get to certain levels in this business, like where we are, we have our PhD. Our PhD in this business. I had it when I first started. Wade had it when he first started, and Creel and all of you have had it. And our PhDs back then, it's poor, hungry, and desperate. So that's our PhD then. Now, working so hard and building our organization, the other side of the poor, hungry, and desperate at this level, and as you're growing, it's really positive, happy, and destined. So when you get to the ranks and you're increasing, we got paid all the way through, your life becomes more positive, more happy, and you're destined to be at the top. So that's our PhD that we're getting, and we're getting paid all along the way. So work for your PhD with us. What else? I wanted to touch a little bit on what Creel was saying about, when you're telling your story, you also try to integrate, the Konkan lifestyle. So if whoever you're talking to and you're telling your story, your hardships or your successes, you're also trying to get them to talk. You're also trying to get to know them. You're also trying to befriend them. And whether they're talking about their hardship or their successes, like Creel was talking about his successes of now, just coming off of a 3-week tour or 4-week tour with his girlfriend in Egypt, and now they're going to go back to Mexico and the lifestyle. He's talking to somebody who didn't have that or doesn't have that or maybe want that because he got to know them. Well, in the process, he was able, you can take a look at something that's maybe not so traditional. Again, he's working in the Konkan lifestyle, and I do that with everybody that I speak with. I try to connect with them and see, what are their successes, what are their pains, and then I share with them my success. If they're talking success, they want to hear success from you. If they're talking pain, they want to relate that you've had some pain as well too. So relate with them with those success or the pain stories or the fear stories, but then wrap it in with, the Konkan lifestyle. My pains in 2008 during the recession, I was really sick, right? And the water helped me. My pains in 2008, was I couldn't even pay my mortgage, and I bought a machine with no money, but that investment was an investment in my health, and it was an investment in my family, and it was an investment in my business and my future. And that investment has been the best investment to date in my adult life, and I do it all over again. So that's what I'd like to share with you guys on the storytelling, is to relate it to them and then tie it in with our Konkan lifestyle, the health, the wealth, and the peace of mind, or the freedom, as I like to say. So I'd like to bring the boys back up and then go from there. So you guys still with me?
Awesome job, Sihar, as always. And I think there's something really powerful about what you're saying, and that is, courage isn't the absence of fear. It's the willing to go through it. And that goes back to what everybody talks about in success, and that is, what is your reason why? Is it because you want to help other people? Is it because you want to create a lifestyle for your family? Is it because someone has pushed you down your whole life and you've decided, you know what, that enough's enough. This is where I rise. This is where I take back the control. Whatever it is, doesn't matter what it is. As long as it is something that is in your heart and inside yourself that's saying, you know what, I might not be the best at this right now, but I'm willing to put it out there. I may subject myself to fear, or I may subject myself to rejection, or people might not like me or whatever. So people don't like you anyways. It doesn't matter. And when you get that and you go through it, over time it's like a muscle. It works, and then eventually you start to realize it wasn't fear that you were actually feeling. It's a heightened state of awareness, a heightened state of energy. And we've lived such a flatline life because we've mistaken comfort for happiness. And believe me, comfort, and we are a comfortable population, isn't happiness. In fact, it's the opposite. It's dull, it's boring, and it's flatline. And if you chose this business, there's a part of you, if you're on this call, if you signed up as a distributor, there's a part of you that knows this. There's a part of you inside that wants to be great. There's a part of you inside that knows that you have that ability. There's a part of you inside that is saying, yes, yes, I want that. I can do this. And it doesn't matter if you've never had a success in your entire life and no one's ever thought you were good at anything, this business is for you. Because in this business, it's extremely forgiving. It's not like you got to tie up millions of dollars. It's not like you got to have a ton of employees or anything. You don't have any of that. You don't have any of the pain of other businesses. What you have is an opportunity, and you've got an amazing company behind you, an amazing group of people, and we're just honored to have you on the call and on our team. I got to tell you, we're really honored. I mean, we talk about it all the time. We get together and we look at each other and we go, this is amazing. So with that, let's turn it over to some questions. I'm getting a bunch of background noise. I'm out here in the dark and Halloween in Sedona, so I know you're getting a lot of feedback here. So let's go to the questions. Let's shut Wade up, and let's get to you guys. And here's what I'm going to encourage. Everybody that's on that call tonight, and there's not too many of us today because it's Halloween, I want one question from every one of you. Your burning question. And
Got to have a question.
Got to have a question.
We had questions. We had so many questions.
Let it rip.
Have somebody to go to. You guys have us right here.
I'm going to hit you up with one thing here, Siha. You said, and I want you to repeat, you said poor, hungry, desperate versus paid, happy, and...
Positive, happy, and destined. So once, so that if I can share with the position that Wade myself just reached and everybody's working for 682-3, once you get here, you feel just this is your destiny. You deserve this. We did deserve this.
Feeling. It's a good feeling.
Awesome feeling. And at all the levels that we hit together, it was just our destiny all the way. So my PhD, I believe right now, is positive, or you can say paid, positive, happiness, and destined, and that's our PhD. We got paid all the way through, and we're going to continue to be paid and be positive, be happy, and be destined.
So it turns out we've got more people on than I thought. Anyways, what I would like you to do for everyone that's on there is you go to the questions bar and you type in whatever your question. And the first question is from Alejandrina Eduardo. Oh, I love that name. That's a beautiful name. I know I hacked it up with my terrible Spanish. I think that's Spanish. So your question is, I want to get better in knowing what to say and picking up the phone and speaking with my prospects. Guys, which one of you guys want to take that?
I can jump in.
Yeah.
Here's picking up the phone and talking to prospects. Well, there's different ways to approach this, and it kind of depends if you've met them in person, if you've chatted with them on Facebook, whatever your initial interactions has been. When I'm prospecting someone, I call and keep it real friendly and light, and I'm looking to kind of make a connection how things are going, because I realize before I can invite someone to do anything, there's got to be, we have to relate, we have to feel a connection, a friendship, a trust at some level. So you don't really have to overthink what you're going to say first, just get to know the person. Like, how are you doing today? Well, what's happening? Anything new in your life? So I work on doing that. If I feel like, I'll be honest, if I feel like for whatever reasons, there wasn't an opportunity to make that connection, I won't move forward with my prospecting or ask them to do something or make an invitation, because I'm like, okay, it's just, we didn't get the first step done, right? So I'll hold off, call them back another time, make another, check-in. If it feels like we're in a good place, then I'll take the information that they're telling me or the information I know from the past and lead that into a question, being like, hey, were you serious about, looking for to create more freedom in your life? Were you serious about being stressed out about not having enough income? Were you serious about feeling worried about your health? They've told me information. I need to take that information and use it as part of my invitation. Otherwise, I'm just being a salesperson, being like, hey, I got this product and I want you to take a look at it, and when can you do that? I need to tie it to something real and personal. So how do you speak better to your prospects? Get to know them better. Be better friends. Invest in the relationship. If you don't have enough relationship, if you don't know how to make the invitation, then go back to investing in the relationship. You might need to work that for 1 week, 1 month, 6 months before you're able to actually move them forward. And the best part is, in this business, you don't want to rely on one person to be your business. You want to have lots of people you're speaking to, so that you work with their time frame rather than your agenda. Because I have found when I press my agenda, it gets awkward and I lose friends and acquaintances. And if I work with their agenda, I gain friends and I gain business partners and I gain trusted customers. So that's my suggestion.
Great. I totally agree with what Krill had to say. For myself, when you say prospects, I have to, like Krill said, is it somebody that I know or somebody that I don't know? And I agree with everything that Krill had to say. I'd like to add, I just want to relate to them, whether I know them or don't know them. I want to relate to them, meaning, how did they find me? How did we connect again? Did they see a website? Did they come to my demo? Did they hear from a friend? Or, am I reaching out? When you say prospect, are you reaching out to this new person? And if so, how can you relate with them to their life right now and what they're going through and where do they want to go? And that's the conversation I have with anybody, whether I'm doing this business or not. It's, what are you doing right now? Now, are you having fun? And how are the kids? And, do you have any travel plans? What's some of the family hobbies that you're doing? Whatever it is, I'm trying to relate to them. I'm trying to get to know them. And from that, I work with what we have, which is, I don't know if you were Facebook friends or if you've heard, but the company that I work with, I absolutely love what I'm doing. I absolutely love. I get to live my dream, of working around the world, of helping people with their health, and I get to help people with their financial health, and I get to help them with their freedom, the freedom from pain, without taking meds, or the freedom from bills, without having to, worry about where the next dollar is going to come to pay for the bills. And then that's how I relate to them. It's like, oh, okay, that's what he's doing. So Jordan Belfort is what Wade shared with me. He's a trainer, one of the best salesmen in the world. Talk about, I talk about, again, here's a prospect. Whether I know them or don't know them, I'm trying to find out what they like, or what can I connect with them like, what can I connect with them with. So do they like me? Talk about, if they don't, I need to earn their love or earn their trust or earn their business. Do they like my product? I have to talk about our product, and what it does and what it can do and what it will do. Do they know about our company? They have to fall in love with our company. It's a 42-year-old company. The CEO, 75 years old, has all the money in the world, can quit, but he's not going to quit. He's a very humble man who wants to, help so many people on this earth while he's still alive with our project. So then I just fill them out, and I go back, just like Jordan Belfort, yourself, the product, the company, yourself, the product, the company. And in between, I'm letting them talk about themselves, their product, their company. But if they don't have that, I'm talking about myself, my product, my company. So you're talking prospect, that means you want to sign them up with Enagic, right? You're talking prospects, that means you want to introduce them to the product, or you want to introduce them to the company. So that's how I do it. I just keep going around and around with Jordan Belfort teachings, and I try to win them over with, having them fall in love with me, fall in love with the company, fall in with the product. You know what? There's something that I put in my head every time I'm with a prospect, and that is they have to become raging fans. They have to become raging fans of you, your product, and your company. And with that, it's contagious. You have to be contagious. So that's how I connect with my prospects.
Great answers, guys. I think you guys both covered that really thoroughly. And I want to reach out there to everybody. We need to see some more questions here. So get out your typer. Start typing. That's the technical word for your computer, the typer. So first I want to congratulate Alejandrina for being the first to go. One of the things about leadership is to go when you don't feel like it. To go, and if you're holding back, you got to realize that's a form of ego. And the ego makes you so you don't want to ask a question. The ego says, oh, I know this, I got it. The ego says, I'll read this in a book, or I'll check out another training. Siha Top, Krill Hutchinson, these guys are top guys. They've dealt with everything that you're ever going to deal with inside, emotionally, psychologically, and outside, externally, with prospects, with distributors. They've done it all. So reach out and talk to them, because at the end of the day, what I've noticed with the people who are most successful, not just in this business, but in every business, is they're inquisitive. They're always asking questions of people. They're saying, well, how did that work? Or how does that go? Or what is that? Or can you explain that to me again? One of my friends, Keith Yackey, who's maybe one of the greatest learners I've ever experienced. I mean, the guy was a pro surfer. He was a preacher. He made millions in real estate. He became a rock star. And now he's in the public speaking here and creating events with the top people in the industry. And I've never seen a guy ask so many questions and be so humble about asking it. And like I said, one of the greatest learners I've ever experienced. So we have, thank you, Jackie. We've got Jackie that stepped up to the plate. You are awesome. Thank you so much. How do you handle a prospect that is failing to take action after repeated exposure? I understand being emotionally detached, but I'm not sure how to professionally deal with it. Should you let them sit on it for a while and drip on them, or stay really enthusiastic and keep asking for further exposures? Boy, that is a great question, guy. Jackie, awesome question. Guys, who wants to take it first?
I'll jump in. This is a great question, because day in and day out we are all dealing with this, and it's hard not to be emotional, especially when someone says they're going to do something, then they don't, and then they say they're going to do something and you don't. So I think it's really important to find out why they would be doing it versus why I want them to do it. And so why does this person need to look at the information that you're asking them to look at and get back to? Is it for you or is it for them? And if you figure out that it's for them, you can remind them and say, hey, did you find a better option for making more money? Is that why you've been busy and haven't been getting back to me? Or have you found a better option to deal with your health? Have you found a better way to make more income? I'd love to hear about it. I want to take that gold nugget, the hot button, and I want to remind them of it and find out if something's changed that I'm unaware of and that they can tell me, and then I can realize, oh, they found something else that's working for their health. Oh, they found another plan that they're pursuing. Great. Then you can, your actions can be accordingly to there. But if they don't, then it's kind of reminding them of the pain or the enthusiasm that they shared in the beginning, and how looking at this information is going to either alleviate that pain or increase their enthusiasm that they're looking for. So that's how I deal with it. You got to kind of go back to that starting point and be clear with them. So I go back to the starting point, and then the other thing I do is if action's not moving forward, I kind of be really clear, being like, hey, it seems like you were interested in checking this out, but things have changed. I just want to know, I don't want to feel like I'm wasting your time, and I don't want to waste my time. Are you serious about looking at this, or has the timing in your life changed? I'm kind of clear with them, asking them, hey, if they need an exit, they can have an exit, or if they want to engage, let's talk about it at a different level. So that's my approach. See how?
Great stuff. Great.
Awesome. Yeah, thank you, Jackie, and hello. I think you have answered it yourself in the last line, or stay really enthusiastic and keep asking for further exposure. That's what I would do. Lead by example, live by example. You love the product, you love the company, you love on friends, you just love on them. So you win them over with love. So you stay enthusiastic. If that's your question, always stay enthusiastic, and show them the successes in your life. It'll come up again. I just had one just like this where, the client wanted it but didn't want it, then wanted it, then didn't want it, and wanted it, didn't want it. So I just, I made a point of staying in touch. The client happened to be in Vancouver, BC. I just made a point in staying in touch with them every time I went up there. I called them, I connected with them, I had coffee with them, or I even worked out with them, and just again, staying enthusiastic, promoting the product. We added each other on Facebook. They saw my flyers of the places that I'm traveling to and doing what I love, because I'm enthusiastic about the Konkan lifestyle. I'm enthusiastic about the role that I get to play in people's lives. I'm enthusiastic about my travels. I'm enthusiastic about my Porsche. I'm enthusiastic about my hobbies. So the answer is stay enthusiastic about. It's about you. It's about you too. It's not just about them. Right? So if you're happy and you're living life, who doesn't want to be with you? Who doesn't want to, rub elbows with you? Who doesn't want to go out to dinner with you? So stay absolutely enthusiastic about your lifestyle and representing the best that you can, the product, the lifestyle, and everything else. And that's the last part of your question is keep asking for further exposure. That is the exposure. That is the exposure. Is staying in touch, having them on Facebook, doing things with them, and guess what? They bought, and they're looking at right now the Nespa and the Ukon. So that's coming. I'm not done. We're not done. We start with the K8, and we're going forward. So that's my answer.
Great stuff, both guys, and I'll throw in something a little different, because I think there's stages that you go through in your business and where you're at, and when you're first starting out. I think you want to come back and you want to find what those are. First off, you got to recognize you're going to have objections. You got to assume there's going to be an objection. So don't be scared of getting it. Recognize one of the things that Jordan talks about in his sales system, the straight line persuasion, is the way to handle objection is first to expect and embrace it. You want to get to the objection right away and recognize that, hey, now when the objection comes out, you can find out what the obstacle is, and oftentimes it's not what you think. You think it's this, but it might not be that. Oftentimes we build up
Yeah.
All right, well, Wade will figure himself out and get back on. I'm going to jump into the next question because we've got some new ones coming in. Landon from the Philippines. I'm in the Philippines now, planning to stay. Well, that sounds awesome. Here. Live here, and I'm doing the business. I'm having a challenge getting my business partners to understand that we need to meet together so we can help one another progress in our business. I need to find the carrot that will motivate them to want to meet together. Great question. So this is a little bit more of an advanced leadership position. You've got some team members on board, and I'll be honest, I go through the same thing myself. How do I get more buy-in, more connection, more interaction with my distributors, with my team as it grows, and kind of keep people interested? And I realized that it's about, you got to inspire people rather than trying to manage them. If you inspire them, they want to hang out with you. And I think Siha, speaking what your answer to Jackie's question was fantastic. Just the energy, like who wouldn't want to hang out with Siha? Geez, Absolutely. So if you get that type of energy and stay positive, stay inspired, I think people will want to come together. And if you're that way, the chance of you of attracting like-minded people that also have that and getting 2, 3, 4 of those people in a room. I also really like introducing people to the Napoleon Hill stuff, which talks about mastermind groups and getting like-minded people together, which are positive, supportive, have a brainstorming session on how we can do together. I think it's getting that information along that together we can do more than individually. And it's also make it fun, make it interactive, make it worthwhile, provide value that is worth showing up for. And if you're even thinking that way, how to do that, you're halfway there. Just bring your enthusiasm and inspiration, and people will dive into that. See how you got something to add there?
Yes, I do. Hey, Landon, from the Philippines. I love this question, and because you said something really key there. You said another progress in our business. You're meeting with partners, business partners. So if they're business partners, they're about the money. Okay, you got to show them the money, especially in the Philippines. Okay, the Philippines, the average median income is $400 per month. I know that because I have friends over there, and I'm also have a lot of business in Southeast Asia. So I know the money. So so they're business partners. You want to increase your business. Talk about the money when you're in Southeast Asia. Here's what I do. The median income is $400. You sell one of our so here you're talking, whether you're talking to them online or on Skype or in a coffee shop with your business partners, you're saying, look guys, let's look at the reality of this. When we sell an Enagic machine, we're going to make an average about $300 per unit. And somebody in Southeast Asia, that's $400 is the median income. The first machine's $300, the second machine's $300, the third machine is $600. An engineer and a professor makes $900. You make $600. You get to a 3A level, you're $900. You're at a 3A, one sale, you make the same as an engineer or a professor. So I show them the relationship of what the reality is of somebody in that country, what they're making in U.S. dollars. 1, 2, the Philippines. I really like this question because the Filipino culture, if you know, they have families all over the world. You go on the cruise ships, the Filipino workers. You're in you're in Disneyland, the Filipino workers. You're in the canneries in Alaska, you're the Filipino workers. You're at the Fairmont in Vancouver, BC, in the bathrooms, are the Filipino workers. I mean, they're families spread out all over the world. They go and work, and they send money back home, right? They send money back home, whatever that may be, 500, 1,000, whatever it is. They're sending money back home from wherever in the world, and they don't want to live in that part of the world. They want to move back to the Philippines themselves. So what you do with your group in the Philippines or anywhere in Southeast Asia, you say, you know what, let's invest in a global business. And that's what they're doing. They're investing in a global business. They sign on with Enagic in the Philippines, and they call up their family around the world and they say, hey, you know what, you don't have to send any money back. We've invested in a global business. You do the same, so we're going to build this business together. When you sell a machine in LA or in Vancouver, BC, or wherever it is, you're going to get paid, but so are we. And now it's a family project. It's a family business. And I find working in Southeast Asia, that's what they want to do. That's what they like to do. So just sharing my thoughts specifically for the Philippines and any other culture that like to work family-based. Show them the money. That's what they're doing this for. Okay.
Great answer, Siha. I also loved how you you kind of tell the almost like the Philippine story. There's some facts in there, but you're kind of telling a story, and it kind of goes back to what we were talking about before, asking questions and telling stories. And we can tell stories to really paint a picture or to educate our people on, what is and what could be, rather than just kind of driving facts home, but turn it into a story, and people can relate more to that story. So that was an awesome example. I hear some rustling in the background. Wade, did you jump on again, or?
I don't know. Can you hear me at all?
I sure can now. Yeah, we can't see you, but we can hear you.
Yeah, I went to my phone, so we're just continuing on with the Halloween madness. Great question, great answer. And I don't know if you guys got the last part, but I was sharing that we're looking at asking people to say, just ask the simple question is, please don't mistake my enthusiasm for pressure. and find out what the objection is. That's the easiest line. I wish I had known it. I hammered a lot of people early on in my career, and you know, that was just a learning experience, and that's what I had to go through. Fine, fair enough, that's okay. But the other thing is, I would like to add is, as you go up the business, you start have the ability to start gauging people's engagement level. And here's the deal for me. I only work with A players now. I'm in a position in my business that I only work with A players, and I'm really clear, and that posture attracts better people. The sooner you attract that posture, great, but you know how you get to that posture? By going through the C's and D's, and we all got to do it. And sometimes a C will surprise you and jump up to an A, and sometimes an A will drop down to a C. But it's the people that will kill you are the B's. The people that have the ability, say they're going to do it, but never do or never step up. Those ones will you'll drag. It's like I always tell people, don't try to turn lead into gold. That's the ones that kill you. Some people just want to go along for the business. They're a solid C. They show up all the time. They like the community. They're going to participate. You need those people, and I love those people, and the business is great for them, and it's an awesome experience. The A's, they'll let you know who they are. You want a couple of A's on your team, and once you've had a couple A's, and right here I've got 2 of them, of the best A's in the whole business. I've got Krill and Seahawk. It's magic. The business gets super easy when you have a couple A's, but you gotta sample a lot of bad apples to get them. And a guy told me early on in this game, it's like if you're flipping cards in the deck, you know there's 52 cards in the deck, there's 4 aces. There's 4 aces in the deck. You got to keep flipping over those cards. Sometimes you turn up an ace right off the bat. And sometimes you got to turn over 30, 40 cards before you get your first ace, and then all of a sudden you're going to get aces in the next 12. It's all the same for everybody. It's no different. It's just how fast you want to turn over the deck. And I think a lot of people get stalled trying to go with people that aren't that interested, or the biggest thing is they don't have the priority with their health or their finances in a way that this business is a right fit for them. And that's something that you've got to take into account is, you know, this business isn't for everybody, okay? But it's for the right people. Decide who those people are going to be in their life. I mean, wouldn't it be great? Think about this. Let me ask you a question. Wouldn't you love to have a Seahawk and a Creel on your business? Wouldn't you love to have that? Believe me, you would. Because if you've had that experience, imagine having people that you never have to call, you never have to speak to, that are going to go learn the skills by themselves with or without you, that are going to set up meetings, set up appointments, train their teams, do demonstrations, develop their own stuff, create their own thing. Like, imagine that. Believe me, when you have that on your team, and I've got a lot of them now, and I started out with 0. So the first step is be the person that you want to sponsor and determine what that is, to set the tone for what you want and go out there and keep going and don't settle for anything else. If someone's stalled, get what the biggest thing is I find for most people, they don't have enough conversations open. When you get 20, 30, 40, 50 conversations open about the business, guess what? You can move with the hot potatoes. If you only got 1 conversation open and that person's stalling, this business is really, really painful. And the pressure starts to build up because you're hoping for when Billy Bob decides that grandma is going to die next year and gets the money that he's going to fight with his sisters so that he can buy a Level Up R, maybe, possibly, and you're pegging your financial future on that, you're dead. You're dead in the water. So what I'm saying is open up more conversations and go where the energy is. I think volume, there's power in volume. There's power in numbers. And guess what? All of a sudden, when you come back to that person that might not be ready yet, you've got a great story. Yeah, by the way, Bob, I just signed up 4 people that join us. They're going on this business. Man, this is going. Why don't you join us? We're moving. And all of a sudden, they go, oh, this is working for them. Very, very different posture. So thanks, guys, for bearing through the darkness and the blown-up computer and everything, but nothing stops us. Halloween, tricks, treats, broken internets, other side of the world, doesn't matter.
Yeah, I love it. We're on the home stretch here. I'd say we trick or treat and take it for home. See how you want to do any last closing words?
Yes, I do. I want to inspire and encourage you guys to get plugged in, get your teams plugged in, stay plugged in, get to the events anywhere that you can in the world. Creel and I are going to be in Hawaii next week. You know, we invite you there. There's a lot more events coming up, but the key to building a global business is getting your people plugged in to everything and anything that's Enagic. It's so key. And it's not just Enagic, any personal development training and everything else. So get your people plugged in is my parting words with never stop learning. Never stop learning. If you want to be a really good distributor, you know, business person, you just never stop learning. Get plugged in and never stop learning. Love you guys, and we'll see you on the stage.
Cool. Thanks, Siha. My last words for the evening is this celebrates my 6-year anniversary. It was November 1st, 6 years ago, that I bought an Enagic Konkan water machine. It was the first day the Platinum SD501 was available to the marketplace. And my sponsors, an upline called me and said, I think this is the day. And I was just like, you know what, I think this is the day. And bought it, and it's been one of the best decisions ever. So I always look at November 1st very fondly. So that's 6 years. 6 years to Dash 2. You know, Siha took 8 years to get Dash 3. Wade took 9 years to get Dash 3. So I think I'm in the right trajectory, and it's been great to be aboard and have you guys all show up for the webinars and all the great work you guys are doing out there. So thank you so much, and have a great evening. And we'll send it back to our leader, the man from, gosh, what can you say about Wade? He's
In the
our
dark and the light.
the dark and the light. Wade, you want to have the closing words on the evening?
So now that I've become officially a ghost in the machine, first I want to thank both my partners here, Creel and Siha. You guys make this ride easy, and you make it a lot of fun. And doggone it, seeing those 6-day 2-3 bonuses, you make it damn profitable. So thank you very much. And that also comes from everybody that's on the team, whether you're starting out, whether you just joined for the first time, whether you're at that 1A, that 2A, that 3A, that 4A, 5A, whatever that position is. Recognize we've all been there. We've gone through it. And here's the beauty about this business. The beauty about this business is it doesn't work unless you work it. And here's the best part. The more you work it, the more the benefit you get. So our goal is to get you to the point where you're making the most benefit for your efforts. Once you get to that position, you're going to help other people do the same thing, because you're going to get a little bit of benefit from a whole lot of people. And I can tell you, it's worth it. It's worth the effort. It's worth the learning. The lifestyle is incredible. You know, I was in Vancouver a couple of days ago. I was in Vegas a couple of days after that. I'm in Sedona right now. I'll be in Phoenix tomorrow. I'll be back in Vegas the next day. I'll be in Singapore 2 days after that. Then in Bali for a month, back to Singapore, back to Vegas for Eric Warren. I hope to see you all there, the December 1st to 4th event, the best network marketing training in there. And then I'm going to be bouncing home for the holidays, then back out to Vancouver, down to Central America. And guess what? I've got teams in all these places. I got friends in all these places. I got business in all these places. And I've got fun in all these places. And if you would have told me 9 years ago that I would be able to travel around the world, make money from a laptop that's going to come in no matter what, and the business that I was going to do was going to help people become healthier and help people achieve financial freedom, and I was going to meet amazing people and build great friendships all around the planet, I would have said, whatever, that ain't going to happen. And you got to recognize that some people that you're going to talk to right now, they're going to think that too. They're going to think that you're crazy. They're going to think that, oh, that doesn't work. And you know what? If you stay in it as long as I have, guess what? You're going to get the satisfaction of them all saying on your Facebook post saying, you know, man, I knew you could do it. I'm so big. You know, you go 2-3 and this stuff, and everybody's your friend. Everybody knows you're going to do it. Everybody decides they want a machine. Everybody decides they want to be in the business at that point, because you know what? You're a proven entity. And believe me, it's worth it. it's worth all the effort. And the friendships, if you took everything aside, you took all the money, all the prosperity, all the stuff, all the connection, all the travel, the friendships alone they're gold. They just really are. And not just in your own team, with other distributors. I got so many friends in other teams. Like, you know, I can stop I go to California, I got friends I can stay with in other teams. I go to Vegas, I got friends I can stay with. I go to Sedona, I got friends. Everywhere I go on the planet, I go to Singapore. Someone's like, hey, can you want to meet up for coffee? You need a place to stay? Can you come visit us in Thailand? There's an amazing community with this business that there's really something special. And Mr. Oshiro's created something special. It's not a trick. It's a treat. And for this Halloween, I'm wishing you to take on the treat side of this business, because I'll tell you what, it's worth it, and it's better than a whole pillowcase full of candy. And although that's pretty good, this business will deliver much better. So thank you so much for joining us. We'll be back. I guess next week will be the Danny D. McCauley call. So we will be off that night. We'll all join us next week for the Danny D. McCauley Kangen 1 Global Conference. I'll be joining us from Bali, Indonesia. I don't know where the guys think we're going to be in Hawaii, I think, or something like that. So we're spread out all over the world, but the bottom line is we're all connected here. We're glad to have you on board, and don't be afraid to reach out and ask for help, because we're here to help you. Demonstrate to us that you're serious. There's nothing I like better than a 1A, a 2A, a 3A, a 4A, a 5A. Reaching out, contact me and say, hey man, can you help out? Because what it shows is you've got the qualities of a leader. And don't let your rank hold you back. Recognize that we need those people and those things, and we can't wait to help you and let you rise up to the next level, because you know what? You're worth it. You deserve it. You're in the right place. You're in the right business. It's the right time. You found your home. Now let's go out there, lock arms, and reach your dreams together.
All right. Good night, everybody. Good night,
Good night,
everybody.
guys.
Love y'all. Mwah.